I was going to get some fancy lights to make these videos better. That's probably not what you envisioned, but it'll do the job. So we're going to talk today about this repair shop and how it was remade into what I have today, which is based on two of those repair shops. So first of all, this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go about all through the building, the interior and some of the design aspects of it, and the trucks, although I did discuss these two trucks in a recent video, so we'll just kind of gloss over that. But first, let's look at the original. Now, this set came on these half plates, and as I discussed on my blog, that was kind of a mixed blessing. You got two half plates, which was cool, but the problem was the back stuck out so far that in my setup as a kid, the street plates were on a windowsill, and so that meant that the garage extended back out and was cantilevered into space, or just didn't fit, because it would sit, I could put the shop part here, but then the garage would sit back and take up like this space here, and it wouldn't be supported. So that was kind of a problem with this set. But as soon as I got a curved road plate, the curved road plate is deeper. So I built the set in reverse sometimes, depending on how it was oriented, but I would take advantage of that deeper plate. Oh no, we've had a disaster. Well, there you go. There's a blooper. Maybe I'll set up fire trucks and stuff like that. I think I may have killed somebody on the street down there with the falling helicopter. Well, anyway, all right, it is what it is. Anyway, so once I had the curved road plates, then this was perfect. And I go into that again on bricksbuilder.com, the whole story behind it. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to keep the look of the building. So it still is blue. You can see it has two signs on it now, in kind of this V shape. And the windows and the door, fortunately, are pretty like standard Lego stuff. They're nothing super exotic. So even though the set only came with one, which means that with two sets I had two windows, obviously I found some more. And but of course I used the doors. So there's the two original doors, there's the two original signs, and I got more windows to match. This building is slightly deeper than the original would have been, and that's partly to take advantage of being on the corner like it is, and of course it straddles and is really embedded on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, it's on 4 different plates, because if you look at where the seams are, it's on 4 different plates, which is why I didn't move it someplace else first. It's just too hard to do. So I kept the black roof, but I did add this sort of cornice line to it because it is sitting next to this pizza shop, which has a more interesting roof line anyway. So I wanted it to look like, on a city street where the buildings kind of blend one into the other. And so that's kind of what we have here. These buildings don't actually share a wall. They're two supporting separate buildings, but they look like they could share a wall if it was built like that to begin with. And then we added these yellow roof pieces, mainly because we had them and we didn't have enough to do an entirely yellow roof. So this was a way of using those pieces in a way that made sense. So let's talk about the trucks first. Now this truck came on a different set, but it's always kind of been associated with this building because the gas station is a Shell station, which is way over there somewhere. So having the Exxon truck work out of the Shell station didn't make sense, but it was blue, so it kind of made sense to go with the yellow trucks. We had blue and yellow trucks at a blue and yellow repair shop. Now, these are the actual original tow trucks, although obviously they've been modified, so they don't have this red top anymore. And we added the hubs so that they have yellow hubs. So you can see that. And I changed out the toe piece. And as I showed you in the other video, I'm trying to get my hand out of the way here, this one has hinges added so it can snatch a car right off the street and pick it up, as opposed to this one, which is more old style, which has to go like this. Not very realistic. I think we just didn't have hinges for this one because it doesn't work. And then, we added like little details, like it has a spare wheel on it and it has a fire extinguisher, stuff like that. So let's get that one out of the way. Now this one was a complete rebuild. We kept basically the cab area, and the rest of this was new. Mostly done out of spare parts, so it's not a particularly ingenious design. I don't claim that it is anyway. It almost looks like it could be amphibious because it's got that curvedness to it. But we did add ramps to the back so that it would make sense as to how you would load cars onto it. And let's see if I can find a standard car here. So like a standard car will fit on there just about. Oh, that was really dusty. That's the problem with a black car. See, in real life, black cars show every bit of dirt, and it's no different in Lego. So there you can see it fits on there perfectly. So anyway, so that's what happened to the other tow truck. It didn't make sense to have two yellow tow trucks when we already had this blue Exxon one. Now, the garage area is open air on the original, but we enclosed it with these glass shop windows, which are put in backward. I don't know if you can really tell, but they're in backward, so they have the exterior windowsill, just so that it didn't make like a solid wall of structure against the street. And there is some signage added. There's this little sign up here, and then there's like a little sign down there. I don't know if you can see, that's a repair shop sign. But for the most part, this building is meant to look like what you would find in an old part of a city with, in real life, it would probably be a brick building. Well, I guess it is still brick, right? It's just Lego brick. And then you would have the garage kind of in a back alley or something. And this isn't a back alley. This is a busy section of town. And I just shoved cars off the street just so you could see the building better. So pay no attention to that. But the idea was that it would look like, an old building that you would see, on a street, like a row building. So that kind of is why it has the cornice line, is to give it that older city building look. It's also why we wanted it to be taller, because those old buildings in the cities tend to be fairly tall. So this is sort of like a bus garage idea, in that it's got those glass windows to it. And I say bus garage because my grandparents' house was next to a bus garage. Now if you look down in here, there you can see there's a third door. Again, these doors aren't anything unique. So you have the door that goes out to their terrace from the living level. Then the work level is this one here. This is like the business office. And then in the garage itself, there is another door that goes into the office. Now that side of the garage is extra deep. You can see there's a yellow window there to the left. And the reason for that is I'll just go ahead and show you. It's so the flatbed truck can actually fit all the way back off the street. And so if we look through the window here, which maybe I can't do, you can kind of see that it fits in there. Anyway, so that's why that side is so deep, is for that truck. Ease this back down here. So then, of course, it has tools, fire extinguisher, and there's a car in there right now. Let's take this car out. I'm just going to park that on the roof. And then the original set has this like lift apparatus in the back of the bays, and that has been removed. It was kind of clever. It used a chair piece. In fact, I'll show it to you again here. It used this like chair piece. Hello. And it was actually pretty clever because it's on a hinge and you could flip up the front of a car. But we have actual jack pieces that came out later, so we just used those. And there's a lift in the back anyway. So that's the garage. Having said that. All right, now I got to work my way around here real quick. Try not to cause any more mayhem, a disaster. Like, I got to clean that up when we're done. All right. Now I know I'm going to knock this one over, so we're just going to move this helicopter right now. All right. So, put that car back in there. Oh, you probably saw there's a traffic light here. You're probably wondering, why is there a traffic light on the door of the garage? Well, because this intersection, focus, traffic light, and then, of course, fire department can change the lights when they leave. They make everybody red so they can pull out. And they're just all kind of jumbled in there right now. So, So we added a barrier there because we don't want any mechanics like stumbling out into traffic. And then here's that window from inside the shop, or inside the shop area. And there's the other side of that door. They've got some cans here, which might be for like your disposal of oil or whatever. Like a lot of shops have like waste disposal oil. And I gotta make sure I don't get my own light here. And we have some carts, so we can use these like as jacks or to carry parts around. And they're just made out of those. I forget what that idea came from. I think it came off the Speedway set or something. We adapt a lot of stuff from other sets. And then he's got his telephone and a wheel balancing machine in there. And then this is the lift that came with the Shell gas station set, but we don't use it at the Shell station because we got this repair shop. So if you want to get your car fixed, you pretty much come here in this town. But this car is being stripped for parts. Let's see if I can pick it up here. It's not even a full car. It's just made out of kind of leftover stuff. Just enough to look sort of like a car. So it's like missing a wheel, on the back. But the idea is that this repair, the whole town is an island, right? So anything that breaks down, you kind of got to salvage what you can because it's hard to get parts. So that's what they're doing here. So he's got like extra wheel in that one. Of course, you have to have fire extinguishers everywhere at an auto shop. And then these are what you would call like a front clip. If you go to actual salvage yards in real life, you'll often see these stacked up on these massive frames. And there's like additional parts. And so these are the same thing. They're just kind of, this one's fastened down, but I think, maybe that one's fastened down too. But anyway, they're on this gantry sort of looking thing, which is actually pressed on end into those bricks back there. So that's why it's pretty strong. And then those are fastened onto a couple plates that stick out. But you can move these pieces all around, and they're just made to look like beat up old cars. So that's kind of the repair shop side of things. There should actually be jacks there, and I guess I didn't go. Let me move this car, you can see. And then we got like another fence there and some parts, so nobody wanders from the pizza shop into the repair shop. The idea is that they would, of course, live above the repair shop, like most cities. So there's the terrace, and there are, I think there's 4 mechanics and 2 tow truck drivers. So I don't know, we don't have room for all of them to live there, but that's a common problem in Lego. So anyway, in this apartment, for whoever happens to be here, they've got a refrigerator there, which I think you can see. So there's the fridge, and then they've got counter space and like a grilling area here with the hood to take the steam or whatever out of the apartment, and then a sink which is open on the bottom, and then just chairs and table. So that's kind of like their living room level, I guess, living room kitchen. It's like an efficiency, and then top floor is all bedrooms. And then on the roof, we've got some antennas, some advertising. You gotta have a satellite TV, right? And then this is like an air conditioning or HVAC unit, I guess you would call it. And that is the repair shop. And again, it sits on this, it kind of takes over. It uses this curve just like the original one did, but then spreads so that its facade is on that street, and this is kind of like the behind shop area. And I think it works pretty well for taking up as much space as it does. You can get a lot in that space, again, using this classic size building. I will say, unlike a lot of buildings, this one has the cornice kind of all the way around, which normally on the back of the building it's just flat, like the TV station is just flat. So, yeah. So that is the repair shop. All right, thank you for watching. We give you side by side the original and the larger improved one. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoy just kind of seeing around some of this stuff, and share, subscribe, all those good things, but especially the thumbs up. Apparently the YouTube algorithms, how they rank videos, Thumbs up is a big deal. All right. See you guys next time.